love? Can you offer a definition of love? My suspicion is that probably not. You might be saying, how can you say that? It's simple. I've done this with huge audiences. I've done it with students all over the place. I'll simply say, write down for me a definition of love. And rarely can somebody give a cogent biblical understanding of what love is. When I was a kid, probably 12 or 13 years old, I'll never forget, my father sat me down, he goes, son, I wanna share something with you. That if you understand this and apply it to your relationships, it will set you up to experience God's best for your whole life. And he shared with me a definition of love, and it's found in the book of Ephesians chapter 5. Let me read this passage to you and then show what it tells us about the nature of love. Ephesians chapter 5, Paul is talking about how we are supposed to love our spouses the way that Christ shows love to the church. And in chapter 5, verse 28, it says, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. Now notice it says, love your wife as your own body. So if you want to know how to love your wife, what do you need to know? How do you love your own body? Well, what's amazing, as my dad shared with me, is the very next verse actually shows this. It says, for no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it just as Christ does the church. So we're supposed to love our wives as our own bodies. How do we love our own bodies? By nourishing and cherishing it. So if you want to know what love is, we need to know what it means to nourish and cherish. Now, those aren't words that we typically use today, so what do they mean? Nourish just simply means to provide for something, to care for it. So take a plant. If you nourish a plant, what do? You put it in the right environment, you give it the right soil, the right temperature, the right water. You provide for this. Well, what does cherish mean? Sometimes we think of cherishing like you hold something up and say, oh, it's so great, I cherish it. But that's not biblically what this means. Cherish means to protect something from foreign elements that would come in and give it harm. I'll never forget when my dad looked at me and he said, son, if you realize I just gave you the simple and yet profound definition of love, to protect and provide. You know what that means? If you really love somebody, you'll act in a way that protects them and a way that provides for them. And similarly, here's a test. If someone says, I love you, the question is, are they acting in a way to protect you and to provide for you? So somebody says, I love you, and then they pressure you sexually, or they say things and treat you in a way that doesn't protect and provide for you, you know those words are hollow. My hope is that you will take this definition to heart in the way that my dad shared it with me and realize that despite all the lies in our culture about love being a feeling and an experience, a true test of love is whether you truly protect and provide for the person you say that you love.